just in, Discord plans to mandate biometric face scans or ID verification globally for full platform access, claiming it is necessary for teen safety. It shows an article that says Discord will require a face scanner ID for full access next month. Robbie Starbuck said, "I support this one. It's genuinely worth the data risk to stop minors from the horrible stuff that's been happening on Discord. How else can they stop minors aside from ID and a face photo to ensure you are the person from the ID?" And like, if you're getting paid out by a platform, it makes sense that they would want information to be able to pay you out, right? But if you're just like some random person using the platform, why do they need your ID? And trying to push ID for everyone so they have extra steps to track you under the guise of teen safety is a little fucking weird to me. You know, the way that teen safety should be addressed is the parents should be watching their children, not expecting platforms to play parent. Discord has a horrible track record? Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up, was when the UK instituted this, more than 4 months ago, hack of age verification firm may have exposed 70,000 Discord users' ID photos. Names, email addresses, and other contact details of users from around the world could also have been taken. So it's like, when this went as badly as it did in just the UK, why would you then want to roll this out globally? This literally just ends up being a data harvesting campaign to give information to hackers because you have no security. ID for the internet, but not for voting. Well, voting, you don't have to think of the kids, right?
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
People are canceling their nitro so fast, the system is having trouble processing it all. Jesus Christ. Discord has neither the track record nor the trust to pull this off with positive reception. I don't think any platform would have any amount of, like, positive reinforcement of doing something like this, regardless of whatever positive opinion they used to have, right? You still haven't updated your Discord app on your phone, so you won't have to deal with this until they force you? That's smart. Radical idea, platforms should offer more parental control tools instead of this shit. I don't even know, like, what more parental control tools that they can use, right? Because lying about your age is always an option. And so it's like, you can't really do something if someone lies about their age, right? That's been the eternal problem for the entirety of the internet. Government IDs of about 70,000 global users of Discord, a popular messaging and chat platform among video gamers, may have been exposed after hackers compromised a company contracted to carry out age verification checks. Some users' names, email addresses, and other contact details, IP addresses, and messages with Discord's customer service agents may also have been taken. And if I'm not mistaken, it was specifically because of, like, some customer service thing that this hack was able to happen. Hot take, the only parental tool they need is for the parents to step up and tell their kids not to use the internet? I mean, I use the internet, and before I went to places that I probably shouldn't have been at the age that I was at, I pretty much stuck around on, like, Gaia and Neopets. And thankfully, I was too autistic to notice if people were trying to groom me. But that doesn't mean that's not a danger to other children. And so it's like, you still need to check in on your kids and what they're doing, you know? Most hacks are done via phishing, so some retarded Discord management is probably 500% to blame. People will never admit to being, like, dumb enough to fall for one of those, like, phishing things, so you can only ever assume, right? The attacker has been trying to extort a ransom from the company. No full credit card details or passwords were seized. The breach was made public last week, but the potential number of lost photo IDs emerged on Wednesday. A spokesperson for the UK's Information Commissioner's Office, which regulates data breaches, said, "We have received a report from Discord and we are assessing the information provided. The photos that may have been taken were provided by users making age-related appeals to Discord's customer service contractor in cases where they may have been locked out of the decade-old platform, which allows people to hang out through text messaging or voice and video chat. Some countries, including the UK, require social media and messaging providers to carry out age checks to ensure child safety. In the UK, this has been the case since July under the Online Safety Act. Cybersecurity experts have warned of a risk that some providers of such checks, which can require government IDs, are becoming hacker targets with bad actors aware of the high volume of sensitive data. Recently, we discovered an incident where unauthorized party compromised one of Discord's third-party customer service providers. Discord has said in a statement, the unauthorized party then gained access to information from a limited number of users who had contacted Discord through our customer support, hey, I was right, I remembered right, and/or our trust and safety teams. Of the accounts impacted globally, we have identified approximately 70,000 users that may have had government ID photos exposed. which our vendor used to review age-related appeals. Discord required people who needed to prove their age to get back on the platform to upload an image of their photo ID and Discord username. Nathan Webb, a principal consultant at the UK digital security company Acumen Cyber, said the breach was very concerning. Despite age verification being outsourced, businesses still have an accountability to ensure that data is stored appropriately. It's important for organizations to recognize that delegating certain processes does not absolve their responsibility to uphold data protection and security standards. And so it's like, if this already was a massive fuck up, and this article is like 4 months old, I can't find like the actual date. Here we go. October 9th, 2025. Why would you roll this out globally? Why would you think it would go any better? And then Discord's little announcement of them doing their thing. Discord launches teen by default settings globally. This is February 9th, 2026. Press release was updated February 10th, 2026. Teen by default settings to roll out globally for all Discord users, enhancing age-appropriate protections while maintaining privacy, community, and meaningful connection on the platform. Discord is announcing enhanced teen safety features rolling out globally that reinforce its long-standing commitment to creating a safer and more inclusive experience for users over the age of 13. I just think parents need to watch their kids more. Like, the biggest issue with, like, Discord, and we used to go and look at this on stream, is there is a conglomeration of Discord community servers on a website called Disboard. And on Disboard, you used to be able to type in, like, dating to find Discord dating servers. And there would be dating servers that were like, oh, we're a 13 to 19 dating server, or a, like, 13 to 21, or a, like, mixed age dating server. And when you find that shit, you're like, that's fucking weird. Why would you allow people that young on a fucking dating server? But again, all you can do is, like, report it to Discord and have them shut it down for inappropriate content. It's on parents to actually prevent their children from going into these situations in the first place. And if you see your child in a Discord dating server with adults, maybe it's time to talk to your child about how fucking dangerous that can be. Let's not forget they want to make a teen council. These fuckers just want to steal data and groom new kittens. You haven't heard of them shutting those down? One of the servers, when we were looking at it on stream, like 404'd in the middle of us, like, looking at the description of it. So they do get reported to Discord, and they do get shut down regularly. You're not going to hear about it, because these are servers with, like, 50, 100, whatever people, right? They're not like a massive underground network or whatever. Parallax is a 13+ safe-for-work community server made for users looking to have a good time and make some friends. We offer a 1-to-1 male-to-female ratio, 13+, by the way. This is unironically a groom cord. Holy shit. So we found our first sussy server, and it didn't even take us like 10 minutes, dude. I'm gonna need to nuke this VoD. Yeah, this VoD might be fucked. Yeah, these are all public servers. Let's go to page 12 because I feel like it's bad gateway. Uh-oh. The FBI shut me down, dude. I actually can't even go back to the fucking disboard.org. Thank you, FBI, for doing something fucking useful in your lives. Thank you, FBI. Feds in the chat. Feds are always in the chat. That's true. So there's just like some creepy ass fucking Discord servers that are out there. You calling it now? Discord's teen by default profile setting will end up putting unverified adults in servers designated as safe for minors. That is also a very good point. If you're a teen by default and you're someone who wants to enter teen spaces, wouldn't you just not verify your age and continue as like a marked teen account? That's creepy. As part of this update, all new and existing users worldwide will have a teen-appropriate experience by default, with updated communication settings, restricted access to age-gated spaces, and content filtering that preserves the privacy and meaningful connections that define Discord. What do they mean by this? Content filtering that preserves the privacy and meaningful connections that define Discord. Literally 100% of the internet's existence has been people screaming, "For the children!" and then making proposals which help nothing but their power. Well, because saying "for the children" is a good wedge to, like, make you the default good person, and then everyone arguing against you also now has to argue against low IQ people calling them a pedophile. Because surely there's no other reason you'd be against everyone on Discord having to give their ID other than being a pedophile, right? Like, How could you not want to protect the children? Yeah, exactly. Discord finishes up with, beginning with a phased global rollout to new and existing users in early March, users may be required to engage in an age assurance process to change certain settings or access sensitive content. This includes age-restricted channels, servers, or commands, and select message requests. Nowhere is our safety work more important than when it comes to teen users, which is why we are announcing these updates in time for Safer Internet Day. Rolling out teen by default settings globally builds on Discord's existing safety architecture, giving teens strong protections while allowing verified adults flexibility. We design our products with teen safety principles at the core, and we'll continue working with safety experts, policymakers, and Discord users to support meaningful, long-term well-being for teens on the platform, said Savannah Badalich, head of product policy at Discord. Well, this bald lich is doing exactly what a lich would do. I'm not surprising. I'm not surprised at all. There's a privacy-forward age assurance. Key privacy protections of Discord's age assurance approach include on-device processing, video selfies for facial age estimation never leave a user's device. I just don't believe you, actually. Quick deletion. Identity documents submitted to our vendor partners are deleted quickly, in most cases immediately after age confirmation. I also don't believe you. Straightforward age assurance. In most cases, users complete the process once and their Discord experience adapts to their verified age group. Users may be asked to use multiple methods only when more information is needed to assign an age group. And private status. A user's age group status cannot be seen by other users. Okay, so that's good. That's the one good thing that they've said. But still, I do not like this. Immediately after age confirmation equals, we won't tell you how long. Yeah, pretty fucking much. It's actually impossible for it to work that way. It has to go to their servers to verify it unless they're making people download 300 gigabyte LLMs on their phones. I have no idea, but I just don't think that they would be deleting it quickly. They said they'll check messages to verify if they're adults based on content. Imagine all the teens talking about tax returns, golfing, and crochet to get verified by content. Crocheting making a big boom. Default safety settings. Starting in early March, all new and existing Discord users globally will be assigned new default settings that support age-appropriate experiences while keeping privacy front and center. Discord users will need to be age-assured as adults in order to unblur sensitive content or turn off the setting. Only users who are age-assured as adults will be able to access age-restricted channels, servers, and app commands. See, that's incredibly fucking frustrating, because, like, we already set up the, like, hey, don't come here if you're 18. We have all of the, like, filter channels, even the channels that are, like, just politics and nothing actually 18+. Like, I've had people ask me why my streams are 18+. Because I don't do, like, lewd content. It's like, well, sometimes we talk about the horrificness, which is the depths of pornography on the internet. And other times we're talking politics, which I don't want to be subjected to a minor's opinion on anything, but especially a minor's opinion on anything politics related, because they literally know nothing. They would not add anything to the conversation, and they would just make everyone here feel uncomfortable. So I mark everything as 18+. Either way, fucking I don't like that Discord's doing this. I think Discord's being hella dumb. Being hella fucking dumb. HP launched a gaming laptop subscription where you pay monthly but never own the hardware. The high-end option is $130 a month for an RTX 5080 Omen Max 16. The same laptop costs $2,110 to buy outright, meaning you'd pay the full price in about 16 months but still own nothing. If you cancel after the first month, you face hefty fees. Canceling the top-tier subscription in month 2 costs $1,430, plus you have to return the laptop. You can only cancel for free after 13 months, by which point you've paid $1,690 and still have no laptop. HP's justification: the traditional upgrade cycle keeps most gamers perpetually one step behind. But with access to a new laptop every year, your subscription breaks that cycle completely. The Hedgehog person's take is, this feels like the logical endpoint of the subscription economy, and also the logical endpoint, in my opinion, of the you will own nothing and you will be happy kind of stuff, right? I'm sure that there are some people who would be like, why would I pay $2,110 outright when I can just pay $130 a month? that's so much less, and I can use my money for other things. Like, I bet there are some people that unironically have that thought process for some reason. Memory chip prices are up 60% because data centers are consuming everything. Hardware costs are rising, and now HP is using the affordability crisis to push a model where you'll never build equity in anything you use. We've seen this with software, streaming, cars, and now gaming hardware. The pitch is always about flexibility and staying current. The reality is you're perpetually renting your life from companies that figured out recurring revenue beats selling you something once. At least when you finance a laptop, you eventually own it. I don't know how we got to a place where you will own nothing, stopped being a dystopian warning, and became a business model. And they show you the different prices here on laptops. Select your gaming laptop. Everyday gaming with great performance is $49.99 a month. Cool and quiet performance, $69.99 a month. Immersive gaming experiences, $79.99. And high-end gaming with no compromises is $129.99 a month. A system where you must always rent is a system you must always work. Retirement is death now, pretty much. Rental economy, owning nothing economy seems pretty fucking awful. And I very much dislike it. Jesus, just save money or don't buy it. Some people want, like, the newest fucking thing. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. HP has a gaming laptop subscription service where you pay monthly to borrow a rig but never get the option to own it. Like, why would anyone do this? Like, if anyone told me that they were fucking renting a laptop in this manner, I would just make fun of them for being financially illiterate and also functionally retarded. They probably shouldn't own a credit card at all. Making sure they save money, become less and less motivated so it feels easier to spend little by little instead of a huge investment at once. You can do that with financing and then end up owning your item at the end of the financing. This is literally just forever renting. Yours was £100. You refuse to pay insane prices secondhand or finance to own stuff is the way to go. It's like, it's just really dumb, and I know dumb people will buy into it. It's really stupid. Can't wait for companies to demand you return the laptop because you made a naughty tweet, imagine. As long as it works for the basic stuff, no upgrade needed, but the moment the battery is horrible, yeah, that's a sign. Yeah, exactly. Paul saying, personally, this may just be me here, I think she needs to go to jail. I think the Trump admin has to nut up and start putting business owners in jail for breaking the law. I agree. Their business is fraudulent, and if the GDP is more important than law and order or right and wrong, then it deserves to burn. I also agree. I've been saying for ages, we can't just have mass deportations. There need to be repercussions for the companies that are hiring these illegals purposefully. And this is a video of a contractor in Minnesota fearing she'll go out of business because of mass deportations. Good, you should. If your business cannot survive without illegal labor, then your business does not deserve to exist. Fuck off. Listen to how she and the reporter dance around the issue that hiring illegals was wrong and she deserves to now fail. She does. She says she's been in business for 15 years and she's been hiring illegals the whole time. That seems like it'd be a crime. And it is. And it is. Fuck this bitch.
We are behind, and we're one of many companies quite behind, several weeks behind.
As her subcontractors are faced with this daily question with ICE in the community.
Are you comfortable going to work?
The answer, increasingly, is no.
Good. Good, they shouldn't be. They should be deported.
As more are detained at or on their way to work.
How do I guarantee you that just because you've done things through due process, that if you show up to work today, nothing's going to happen to you?
Coming into the country illegally is not doing through due process. I don't know what you mean by this. I hope you face jail time and hefty fines, woman lady.
You can't. We can't.
And while her customers are understanding, work has nearly stopped. Cash flow doesn't add up. And she fears after 15 years in business, this will be her last.
Good.
We don't have very many crews working at all right now, but the ones that we do are taking risks. When it happens to someone you know and care about, it means something different. But I know I'm far from the only one in the situation that I'm in. I'm genuinely very afraid of what's going to happen.
I assume building will slow, costs for these services will go up. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yes. What I'm hopeful for is that we can all come together and work together to make this process safer and more efficient. How do we protect the people that we need to protect? And it's just not that simple anymore.
What does she mean by this? How do we protect the people that we need to protect? Do you mean how do we protect my slave labor that I've been profiting from for 15 years? We send you to prison and we fine you. What do you mean? How is it a risk if they're legal? Yeah, they can't talk their way out of a paper bag, man. How do you protect your slave labor? It hits the nail on the head? Yeah, it's fucking obnoxious. What about companies that could flourish, but she's blocking them with her illegal company? Also a good point. Also a good point. I'm gonna moon you. So if the claims are that Americans aren't getting higher education for good paying jobs and they're not working the unskilled jobs, what fucking jobs are we working? I guess sitting in the cuck chair? I don't fucking know at this point, bro. We have a oiled field rando here saying, that's the fun part nobody ever talks about. All the detainees can leave detention whenever they want. They just have to go back home. I actually was unaware of that. Whenever the detention centers were brought up, I was like, yeah, I don't want people held in detention for like 2, 3, 4 months. I want them deported post-haste. But if they're able to literally just leave and be like, hey, actually, I will take that $3,000 in free flight home, and they're just not, what am I supposed to do? Like, if they're choosing to stay there for an extra long period of time, because they want to wait for some sort of Democrat to start crying about them and try to, on behalf of them, keep them in the country, I'm not gonna feel bad for them deciding to stay there longer, man. And he's quoting a CBS News article saying, as pathways to freedom have narrowed in immigration courts across the United States, a record number of detainees are giving up their cases and voluntarily leaving the country. If that was always an option, that recontextualizes every single article we've seen about people crying about how long detainees are sitting in detention centers. They're just in detention because they're fighting about getting removed. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. That is absurd. You bet they're defining freedom as released into the US instead of released from detention? That seems to be what is the case, unfortunately. And this Irishman has been all over the news now. He's the next target, much like that one fucking guy that we can't seem to deport that's in MS-13. Abrero Garcia, or whatever the fuck his name is. So this was, just let him come home. Massachusetts wife and politicians rallied behind ICE-detained Irish husband. Records reveal he's an international fugitive wanted on drug trafficking charges. For weeks, Boston's airwaves have been saturated with the story of Seamus Culleton, an Irish contractor from Wakefield, Massachusetts, whose American wife went on television after television, pleading for his release from an ICE detention center in Texas. NBC Boston ran a sympathetic segment. CBS Boston followed. The Boston Globe profiled his plight. His wife, Tiffany Smith, told reporters she was begging for her husband to come home. His attorney called the conditions torture. A GoFundMe raised more than $27,000. Massachusetts Representative Seth Moulton, the Democrat currently running for his party's U.S. Senate nomination, seized on the case. If this administration truly cared about following legal pathways to immigration like they claim to, why detain Seamus? Moulton wrote on social media, even with a green card application pending, he's still been locked up and held in inhumane conditions in Texas. Across the Atlantic, the story went even bigger. Ireland's Taoiseach Michael Martin raised it in Parliament. The Minister of Foreign Affairs called the U.S. Department of Homeland Security directly. Labour leader Ivana Basic demanded the government pull out every stop and every diplomatic lever, all for a man they were told had no criminal record, not even a parking ticket. There was just one problem. It wasn't true. Can I just say that it's extra ironic seeing what's happening actually in Ireland and what the Irish in Ireland are having to put up with? And yet their Minister of Foreign Affairs is now going to bat for a criminal Irishman to stay in the United States. They're just like, they're probably like, actually, he seems native Irish. We can't have any of them coming back to Ireland. We don't want the native Irish coming back here, so you need to figure out what to do with them. Why the fuck is the Irish government fighting to keep an Irish citizen in America? He's not multicultural enough. Look at him. He's native Irish. Get him the fuck out of Ireland. Today, the Irish Times revealed that Culleton was facing drug trafficking charges in Ireland when he left the country. In May 2008, he was charged with possession of drugs for sale or supply, and obstructing a Garda, Ireland's national police, after he allegedly threw 25 ecstasy tablets on the ground during a search at his home in Glenmore, in Kilkenny? He was due to face those charges at New Ross District Court, and he never showed up. In March 2009, he hopped on a plane to America under the Visa Waiver Program, a tourist visa good for 90 days. 1 month later, the court issued a bench warrant for his arrest. He never went back. A second warrant followed in September 2009 for an alleged criminal damage incident. Both remain active 17 years later. Culleton settled in the Boston area, overstaying his visa by more than 16 years. He started a contracting business, got a Massachusetts driver's license, and eventually married Smith, a U.S. citizen, in April 2025. The couple lived together in Wakefield and began the green card application process. On paper, it looked like a straightforward path to legal status. Spouse of a citizen, legal business owner, community ties. I'm sat here reading this, and I'm reminded of what I talked about the other day, where it just seems like people can't connect different happenings together to like have a pattern. Everything is like an isolated incident that has no bearing on something that happens in the future. And it makes a lot of this kind of nonsense make so much more sense. Why should we care that a guy committed crime 16 years ago? Now he's trying to get better. He shouldn't have to do anything. Now he's a different man back then. Thanks, I hate it. If it didn't happen in the current news cycle, did it even happen? It's kind of wild. It took him that long to even attempt to like file for a green card. Are you kidding me? Why would I feel sympathy? On September 9th, ICE agents staked out the Home Depot on Route 1 in Saugus. Culleton had stopped in for supplies. When he pulled out of the parking lot, agents followed and pulled him over. He told them he was married to a citizen and had a green card application pending. It didn't matter. He was taken into custody and eventually transferred to Camp East, Montana, an ICE detention facility on the Fort Bliss Army Base in El Paso, Texas. Nearly 2,000 miles from his wife in Wakefield. Well, maybe she can go to Ireland with him. That's when the media campaign began. Smith went to every Boston outlet that would listen. Culleton called into Ireland's RTE radio from the detention center, comparing it to a modern-day concentration camp. I feel like if I was Jewish, I would just constantly be insulted by all of these fucking freaks trying to compare temporary detention centers to concentration camps. Are you a citizen? I'm married to one. Were you going the speed limit? The guy behind me was. His attorney, Ogor Winnie Okoye, that's not a real person, told reporters he was the perfect candidate for favorable treatment. At no point did anyone mention the drug charges or the active warrants waiting for him back in Ireland. When Irish reporters finally confronted Okoye with the court records in a live press conference Wednesday, she appeared blindsided. This is the first time that we're hearing about that, she said. I can't speak to a warrant. She added that a warrant is not a conviction and confirmed she hadn't even discussed the allegations with her own client. Wow, I'm so shocked. The Department of Homeland Security has been less sympathetic throughout. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said Culleton received full due process and was issued a final order of removal just 1 day after his arrest. He was offered the chance to instantly be removed to Ireland, but chose to stay in ICE custody, she said. Being in detention is a choice. Yeah, he could just go the fuck home. Neither Seth Moulton nor any of the Irish politicians who campaigned Culleton's case have commented since the drug charges were revealed. I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked that everyone who was trying to support this guy was like, oh, maybe it doesn't look good if we're supporting an overt criminal. And then there's another article here. The ICE account on Twitter said, this man overstayed his visa by 16 years. We are a nation of law and order. Overstaying your visa violates federal immigration law. Damn. The top post violated X rules. That's funny. But this is Irishman stuck in ICE custody 2,000 miles from his Boston home for overstaying visa 16 years ago. It's just torture. Even, like, this article doesn't make me feel sympathetic. You overstayed for 16 years. That's 16 years you shouldn't have fucking been here. An Irishman who overstayed his 90-day tourist visa more than 15 years ago has been held in a Texas immigration detention facility for nearly 5 months rather than be deported, despite calling it a form of torture, which is his personal choice. He can go home whenever he wants. Home being Ireland. Seamus Culleton, who is married to an American woman, told Irish media that he has a valid U.S. work permit and a pending green card application when he was suddenly picked up by agents in Boston, where he runs a construction company. If he was here on a tourist visa, he was not legally able to work here. So how did he end up setting up a business? How did he end up being able to work? Where did the valid work permit come from, and what was he doing to work before he got that valid permit? There's a lot of things that don't line up here, and a lot of things that he very likely did illegally. He was cuffed and eventually flown more than 2,000 miles from home to a camp facility at Fort Bliss Army Base in Texas, where he alleged he's been locked in the same filthy room. It's a nightmare down here, Culleton complained to RTE, claiming he is in fear for his life. Then go home. Take the deportation and go home. You are making a, conscious choice to stay in that facility. It's just a torture. I don't know how much more I can take. The Kilkenny native claimed he did not know why he was being held, while admitting that he refused to sign papers approving his deportation. Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin cited that as proof of the Irishman chose to stay in detention, while stressing he was only in the country by overstaying his initial tourist visa. He entered the U.S. in 2009 under the Visa Waiver Program, which allows you to stay in the U.S. for 90 days without a visa. He failed to depart the U.S., she said in a statement on X. If he goes home, he'll be arrested for drug trafficking? Good, he should be. Why are we harboring someone that doesn't want to go home because they have a warrant? Why are we humoring someone choosing to stay in an ICE detention facility instead of going home and getting served a warrant that he's been running away from for 16 years? Why are we taking him seriously about, oh no, I might die if I stay in this facility any longer? Why are we taking that seriously? He received full due process and was issued a final order of removal by an immigration judge on September 10th, 2025. He was offered the chance to instantly be removed to Ireland, but chose to stay in ICE custody. In fact, he took affirmative steps to remain in detention. Culleton said he was initially pulled over by the feds on September 9th after he'd stopped at a Home Depot to return some items in his van. I complied with everything they said when they asked me if I had a green card, and I said I didn't. I said I was married to a citizen and that I had a marriage-based petition in place, and I was about to receive my green card, and that I had a work permit to be here and work. What were you doing before that work permit? Because you can't work on a visa, on a fucking tourist visa. You can't work on one of those. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here exactly, sir? And that even brings into question, he got married last year, right? How much is this marriage an actual marriage, or was him worrying about being deported under Donald Trump? Why are we holding him here? Send him back immediately. True. He added that he believed he was okay, given that he had received a work permit roughly a month earlier. Wait. He received a work permit a month earlier, which means he's been working for that full 16 years illegally. 16 years. I was even willing to bet that he got it at some point in that time frame, not a fucking month earlier, bro. What the fuck? Get him out. His wife, Tiffany Smith, recalled getting the call from her husband. He rang me and he said, "Don't freak out." And I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "ICE picked me up." Culleton was initially taken to a holding cell in Burlington, Massachusetts, before being transferred to the detention camp facility at Fort Bliss Army Base in Texas. As his case made its way around the immigration courts, Culleton claims he had been forced to endure tortuous conditions that have left him fearing for his life. I just don't believe him. You don't know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. You don't know if there's going to be riots, and you don't know what's going to happen, Culleton said, saying he's been locked in the same room for months. "I've barely had any outside time, no fresh air, no sunshine. We have 2 TVs on the wall, and there are 72 detainees here in total. We get 3 meals a day, very, very small meals, kid-sized meals, so everybody is hungry," he said, adding that the completely nasty bathrooms are very rarely cleaned. Culleton's sister, Carolyn, called the moment her brother was picked up, the start of the whole nightmare. His whole life just ended that day. It was put on hold. Politicians in the detained man's native Ireland have vowed to complain to the White House about his case. I hope the White House tells him he has to go back. You have to take your Irish citizen back and serve him his fucking warrant. He's the Irish illegal immigrant who claims he's a victim of Trump's ICE crackdown, but now his twin daughters back home say he abandoned them as toddlers and should return to face drug charges. That's crazy. This man fled the country not just to avoid being arrested for drug trafficking charges, but also abandoned his twin children. The estranged twin daughters of a man detained in the US have claimed he abandoned them and called for their father to be sent home to face justice on his drug charges. They spoke out after ICE detainee Seamus Culleton this week appealed on RTE radio for the Irish government to raise his case with US President Donald Trump so that he could return to his wife, a US citizen, and his plastering company in Boston, Massachusetts. The twins, who will turn 19 over the coming days, said Mr. Culleton abandoned them when they were just 18 months old, leaving their mother Margaret to raise the children herself. In an exclusive interview with the Irish Mail on Sunday, Mr. Culleton's daughters, Melissa and Heather Morrissey, claim that their father is not the man he seems, and so they have little sympathy for his plight. Their father, they say, built a new life for himself in the US, but never saw his own daughters in person again. Heather and Melissa claim their father is not the man people think he is, and said his claim that he has done no wrong is false. The 2 young women said their mother has not received a penny in child maintenance from Mr. Culleton since he abandoned them. Heather told the MOS, "I think he should come back here and he should get arrested." The twins said their father was naive for going public with his case, knowing he has outstanding drug charges against him in Ireland. Mr. Culleton, who is from Glenmore in Kilkenny, compared the conditions of the detention center where he's being held to that of a concentration camp and said that he feared for his safety. Our sister paper, the Irish Daily Mail, revealed this week that Mr. Culleton was charged with several offenses in 2008. These included possessing drugs with intent for sale or supply, possession of drugs for personal consumption, and obstructing a Garda in the course of their duty. Mr. Culleton failed to appear at New Ross District County Court, I added the word county for some reason, New Ross District Court, for his hearing, and a bench warrant was requested. However, the warrant was never issued as he had left the jurisdiction. He also appeared in the same court in April 2008 for being extremely drunk in public. Court reports from the time noted Gardaí detained him for his own safety. Heather said he was making himself out to be a saint, like he's done nothing wrong. Like, he knows there are warrants here for his arrest, and that was going to come out. How did he not know that? He went to the news. People can go and find this. It's public knowledge. The twins said that they were in disbelief when they heard their father's voice on the radio. Mr. Culleton called RTE's Live Line program on Monday. Heather added, "I was shocked, and I'm sorry now, but I just think it's so funny how he can ring the news and Tiffany, Culleton's wife, and his sister, but couldn't ring me or my sister. He rang me the first day he got locked up because I asked his sister to ask him to ring me. I had asked him to ring me. He told me that he got detained by ICE and he doesn't know when he's going to get out, and that was about it. I haven't heard from him since then." Heather said that she texted her father's sister to let him know that Melissa was pregnant, but there was still no contact. "My sister hasn't heard from him." Heather added, "I feel that we were born and he just up and left. He abandoned us, that's what he did." She said the twins were told their father was Seamus Culleton when they were 12 years old. They looked him up on Facebook and began messaging him. But Heather said he never tried adding us or anything like that on Facebook. Then me and Melissa made it our own business to add him. "We then texted him and basically said, 'You never reached out and we never heard from you,' and all that kind of stuff," she said. "He just said that he thought we wouldn't want to hear from him and all that kind of just silly stuff, really. And then we got afraid, in case our mom would see it on our phone, so we just blocked him." Heather said the twins reached out to their father again when they were 15 or 16, and that there had been some infrequent online conversations. He'd be texting on and off, and he'd be texting, "How are you?" and all this. He asked us if we were coming to see him, and then I asked him if he was ever going to come over and see us instead of us going all the way over there, and he said no, and that he was never coming back here. Melissa said their father gave us €1,000 each for the twins' 18th birthday last year, but only because we contacted him first and asked for a birthday present as a joke. The sisters said that they were very upset when a fundraising campaign, which has so far raised more than $30,000 to pay for his legal fees, was launched. They also said they felt hurt by comments made by Mr. Culleton's American wife, Tiffany Smith, on TikTok, where she said she wanted Seamus to come home to her and her babies, referring to the couple's dogs. Oh my... Holy shit. I'd be so fucking pissed if I was like a kid that my dad abandoned and I had to sit there and watch his wife crying for him to come home to the fucking dogs. Holy fuck. They're dogs. I understand people love animals and all that, but he has children. His dogs aren't his children. Referring to the money raised for her father's GoFundMe campaign, Melissa said that's nearly child maintenance money, like, you know, they're taking the piss out of people. The young woman also told how a relative of the father contacted them after they posted on Tiffany's TikTok that he had real children and not just dogs. Heather said that she was shocked when the relative said their existence could hurt their father's case. I'd be like, good, fuck that guy. So then Culleton's relative comes down my phone and was telling me to delete the comment and that I'm ruining his chances of getting out of ICE detention center, wherever he is, and that I should take it down and that I don't understand. Look at her forehead. What couldn't she understand? Possibly. Do you think the wife knew that he had kids? Oh, I'm sure she did, and I'm sure she didn't care. I'm sure she was all like, oh, you have your reasons for leaving. I'm sure they'll understand when they get older. Melissa added, I feel the exact same as Heather, and I'm just hurt by what they set up on the news. I just think that he's scandalous and that he should come home. He's just made us basically out like we're just two pieces of shit. Mr. Culleton has pleaded with the government to help him get out of the detention facility and has claimed the conditions where he's being detained amount to torture. He said this week, I'd love for you guys to just try and get me out of here. Do all you can, please. It's absolute torture, psychological torture, physical torture. I just don't believe you, scumbag. Shut up and go back to Ireland. I just want to get back to my wife. We were so desperate to start a family. Oh, he's bringing out all the fucking stops, man. You're not allowed to have children. Look at the color of your skin. My mother especially is heartbroken that I'm in here. She's just heartbroken over the whole situation, he said. Despite refusing to sign deportation documentation and posting a $4,000 bond, Mr. Culleton has remained at the detention center in El Paso, Texas for almost 5 months. What do they mean by posting $4,000 bond? If he's posted bond, like, why is he still there? How can you post bond at a detention facility for holding illegals who need to go back home? This part confuses me. I don't know what that means. There is no quality of life here, he said. I've been locked in the same room for the last 4.5 months. I can count on one how many times I've been let outside. Again, that's his choice to stay there. He can go home to Ireland anytime. However, in a statement, Tricia McLaughlin, the Assistant Secretary at the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, said Mr. Culleton received full due process and was issued a final order of deportation from a federal judge. She said on September 9th, 2025, ICE arrested Seamus Culleton, an illegal alien from Ireland. He entered the United States in 2009 under a visa waiver program, which allows you to stay in the U.S. for 90 days without a visa. He failed to depart the U.S. He didn't even have the visa. He didn't even have the visa. He just intended to stay here the whole time. How is anyone defending this piece of shit? Like, actually, man. He received full due process and was issued a final order of removal by an immigration judge on September 10th. Ms. McLaughlin said Mr. Culleton's continued detention is his choice, adding, being in detention is a choice. We encourage all illegal aliens to use the Customs and Border Protection home map to take control of their departure. The United States is offering illegal aliens $2,600 and a free flight to self-deport now. We encourage every person here illegally to take advantage of this offer and reserve their chance to come back to the U.S. the right legal way to live the American dream. If not, you will be arrested and deported without a chance to return. How is it that every time people on the left pick, like, the most disgusting, like, criminals to defend? Like, come on, man. Deport yourself now! Exactly.